Unaware she is the CEO worth $300 million fortune in the company he works for, he called her lazy and too fat in a board meeting to marry his mistress. What she did shock him. The boardroom fell silent the moment Marcus Hale slammed his fist onto the polished marble table, his voice echoing through the 57th floor Manhattan office. "I'm done carrying dead weight," he shouted, pointing directly at his wife, Amora. "She's lazy, she's unproductive, and she's too fat to represent this company." Gasps rippled around the long table. Amora froze where she sat, her pen slipping from her fingers. Her heart pounded painfully against her ribs. Beside Marcus sat his mistress, Victoria Chen, smirking proudly as if she'd already won something. Marcus kept going. "I deserve someone who matches my ambition," he said loudly, puffing out his chest. "Someone like Victoria. Someone I should have married years ago." Whispers spread. Chairs shifted. Executives stared at Amora with pity, shock, or discomfort. Marcus wasn't done. "I want this on the record," he said. "Effective today, I'm petitioning the board to remove Amora from all decision-making roles. She contributes nothing to this company." He tapped the table twice, confident, arrogant, certain he was untouchable. But Marcus didn't know one thing. One fact that would shatter the smug expression on his face. The lazy, fat, useless woman he humiliated in front of the entire board was the secret CEO and controlling owner of the entire $300 million fortune he thought he ran. And what Amora did next would shock him more than any betrayal he had ever imagined. Dear viewers, thank you so much for being here. If you watch without subscribing, it's like leaving Amora's power hidden while Marcus screams louder than the truth. When you click that subscribe button, you stand with every person who has ever been insulted, underestimated, or mistreated and rose above it. Please subscribe now, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. The boardroom was too quiet. The kind of quiet that came after a bomb went off but before people realized they were still alive. Amora sat perfectly still, her hands folded in her lap, her breathing shallow. The humiliation burned through her, each word Marcus had spoken replaying in her mind like a broken tape. Lazy. Too fat. Dead weight. He said it with confidence. He said it with pride. He said it knowing she would never shout back. Because she never did. Not in their marriage. Not in their home. Not in public. But this was different. Amora didn't speak. She didn't defend herself. She didn't even flinch. She simply blinked once, slow, calm, controlled. Across the table, Marcus misread her silence as weakness. He leaned back, placed an arm around Victoria, and smiled triumphantly. Victoria touched his chest and whispered loudly enough for the board to hear, "She's embarrassing herself." Amora lowered her eyes. Not from shame, but from calculation. "You have no idea what you've just done," she thought. Her phone buzzed silently under the table. A single message flashed from her lawyer. "All documents finalized. You now legally own 100% of Hale Enterprises. Ready when you are." Her breath steadied. Her heart softened. Her mind sharpened like a blade. She remembered a conversation from only 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks earlier. Amora sat in a small corner cafe in Soho, sipping tea across from her father's former business partner, Elias Grant, a man who had known her since she was 5. He adjusted his glasses and slid a thick folder across the table. "Your father loved you more than anything," Elias said softly. "He wanted you to decide when to reveal who you truly are." Amora stared at the folder. It contained the founding papers of Hale Enterprises, stock certificates, transfer deeds, the sealed letter her father wrote before he died. Her hands trembled as she opened the envelope. "My dearest Amora," the letter read, "I built this $300 million empire for you. You are the future of this company. Trust your strength, even when others do not see it. When the time is right, claim what is already yours." Amora wiped tears from her cheeks. Elias squeezed her hand. "Marcus has no idea you're the real owner," he said quietly. "He thinks he inherited control." He leaned closer. "But now, it's yours. All of it. Amora breathed in deeply. Then I'll take it, she said softly. It was that simple. Back to the boardroom. Marcus stood, straightening his tie as if he were royalty. I suggest, he continued, that Victoria take Amora's spot on the executive team. She's brilliant. Sharp. Beautiful. Everything Amora no longer is. A few board members exchanged uncomfortable looks. Victoria smirked wide, leaning into the attention. Amora finally looked up. Not broken. Not upset. Just done. She rose slowly from her seat. Are you finished? She asked calmly. Her voice didn't shake. Her hands didn't tremble. Her eyes didn't water. Marcus blinked. What? I said. She stepped forward. Are you finished humiliating yourself? A ripple traveled through the room. Marcus laughed nervously. Humiliating myself? Amora, please. She lifted her hand. He fell silent instantly. For the first time in years, she had the room's full attention. Marcus, she said quietly, you believe I am nothing. You believe I am weak. You believe I am beneath you. She paused. And that belief is about to destroy you. Marcus frowned. What are you talking about? Amora didn't answer him. She turned to the head of the table, the chair reserved for the CEO. And then she walked toward it. Slow. Measured. Unshaken. Board members leaned forward, whispering. Victoria's smile faltered. Marcus's confusion grew into the first trace of fear. Amora placed both hands on the back of the CEO's chair. And then, she pulled it out. And sat down. Every board member stared, frozen. Marcus's face drained of color. Amora, get out of that seat, he stammered. She looked at him, unblinking. No. His jaw worked. That seat is for the CEO. Amora folded her hands on the table. Yes, she said. I know. Then get up, he snapped. You're embarrassing yourself. Her lips lifted in a small, cold smile. Marcus, she said softly. I'm not embarrassing myself. She slid a document across the table. You are. Marcus grabbed the paper and his world shattered. His eyes scanned the words. Ownership, 100%. Authority, CEO, Amora Hale. Valuation, $300 million. He read it again. And again. And again. Victoria leaned over, reading behind him, and her face went pale. Amora spoke calmly. My father built this company. He left everything to me. Last week, the final transfer of ownership was completed. I am the CEO. I own Hale Enterprises. Every staff member. Every account. Every building. She leaned back in her chair. And every decision. Marcus staggered backward. You're lying. This is fake. It's real, Elias Grant said suddenly, stepping into the boardroom. I oversaw the transfer myself. Marcus stared at him in horror. No, he whispered. No. No, Amora can't. She's lazy. Amora asked. Too fat. Dead weight. Marcus opened his mouth, but no words came. Amora rose to her feet. Marcus, she said quietly, you humiliated me in front of this board. You insulted my body. You mocked my work. You brought your mistress into this company, and then bragged about it. Her eyes hardened. You're fired. The room erupted. Victoria gasped. Marcus stumbled. Board members whispered fiercely. Elias nodded in approval. Marcus lurched forward. You can't fire me. I worked here for 10 years. Amora stepped closer, lowering her voice. And I was silent for 10 years. But silence is not weakness. It is a choice. She pointed toward the door. Now leave. And take your mistress with you. Victoria bolted first. Marcus followed, defeated, destroyed, and humiliated. Amora sat back down in her chair, finally where she belonged. The boardroom was quiet again. But this time, it was the silence of respect. Marcus stood frozen in the hallway, staring at the closed boardroom door as if it had swallowed his world whole. Victoria tugged at his sleeve, whispering frantically, "Marcus, let's go. Everyone is staring." But Marcus couldn't move. He felt like the floor had dropped out from under him. Like he was falling even though he was standing still. Like every lie he'd ever told had come home to destroy him. Inside the boardroom, Amora sat back down in the CEO's chair, her back straight, her chin lifted. The other board members watched her with a mix of awe and discomfort. They weren't used to seeing her like this, confident, sharp, unshakable. One of the directors, Mr. Lopez, finally spoke. "Mrs. Hale, should we continue the meeting?" Amora nodded calmly. "Yes. But not with Marcus present. Security." 2 guards stepped into the room immediately. "Escort Mr. Hale and Ms. Chen out," she said. In the hallway, the guards approached Marcus. "Sir, we need you to leave the building." Marcus's face turned red. "You can't do this. I built this company." Amora stepped into the doorway. "No," she said softly. "My father built it. You just enjoyed the benefits." Marcus's mouth opened, then closed again. For the first time in their entire marriage, he had no power. He reached toward her as the guards took his arms. "Amora, please, just talk to me." "You can't." But she closed the boardroom door in his face. The click of the latch echoed louder than anything he'd said. Back inside, Amora inhaled slowly as she reclaimed her seat. She remembered all the nights Marcus came home drunk, bragging about how important he was at the office. How useless she was. How she should be grateful he allowed her to stay in his life. She remembered how he rolled his eyes when she gained weight after her miscarriage, a loss that broke her heart but barely touched his. She remembered how he told her, "No one would ever want you but me." But now she sat in the highest chair in the room. And he was the one being dragged out. Elias placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You handled that with grace," he said. Amora didn't smile. Not yet. She wasn't done. She looked around the table. "We will continue the meeting," she said firmly. "But there will be changes." Heads nodded. Eyes lowered. Everyone understood. A new era had begun. Outside, Marcus stormed down the sidewalk with Victoria trailing behind him. "This can't be happening," he muttered. "She's lying. She has to be lying." Victoria crossed her arms. "Marcus, she had legal documents. And that lawyer looked very real." Marcus spun around. "So what? You're taking her side now." Victoria scoffed. "You told me she was powerless. You said she was a nobody." Marcus ran a hand through his hair, panicking. "I didn't know." He reached into his pocket. No access card. His company email, already locked. His bank app, 2 accounts frozen. His credit card declined. Amora was undoing his life faster than he could comprehend. He dropped onto a bench as the cold Manhattan wind cut through his jacket. What is she doing to me?" Victoria watched him crumble and took a slow step back. "I didn't sign up for this mess," she said coldly. "If you have nothing, I have no reason to stay." Marcus looked up sharply. "Victoria, don't do this. Not now." But she was already walking away. "Good luck, Marcus." Her heels clicked down the sidewalk until she disappeared around the corner. Marcus lowered his head into his hands. He had betrayed his wife. For nothing. For no one. His phone buzzed. A message from Amora. He opened it with shaking fingers. "Your things will be delivered to your sister's apartment tonight. Do not come to the house. Do not contact me again. We'll discuss divorce terms through lawyers." Marcus reread it 3 times. The humiliation cut deeper than any insult he had thrown at her. And the worst part? She wasn't done. What came next would hit him harder than losing the company. It would strike where he never expected. Marcus sat on the bench long after Victoria left, staring at the ground as if it might give him answers. But the truth was sinking in fast. He had lost everything. Not slowly. Not gradually. But in one single board meeting. All because he believed Amora would never fight back. All because he believed she was beneath him. All because he believed his mistress made him more powerful. He was wrong on all counts. A cold wind swept through the street, carrying bits of snow from the night before. Marcus pulled his thin coat tighter, but nothing could shield him from the sharp ache crawling through his chest. He checked his phone again. More messages. Another from the bank. Your access has been revoked from all joint accounts. One from the company. Your email has been permanently closed. And one from Amora's lawyer. Please expect communication regarding property division. You currently have no ownership rights. Marcus's throat tightened. He tapped on Amora's contact. His thumb hovered over the call button. But he couldn't press it. Not because he didn't want to, but because he knew she wouldn't pick up. Meanwhile, in the boardroom, the meeting ended smoothly, smoother than it had in years. Every board member paid full attention, every note was taken carefully, every question felt respectful. They looked at Amora differently now. Not as Marcus's quiet wife. Not as the woman he mocked. But as the CEO, the true one. When the meeting was over, a few members approached her. Congratulations, Mrs. Hale, one said. It's an honor to have you leading us, another added. We didn't know, a third whispered. We're glad you finally revealed yourself. Amora nodded politely. But inside, she was exhausted. Not physically, emotionally. She walked to her private office, a space she had never truly claimed before, and shut the door behind her. Silence filled the room. She sat slowly, letting everything wash over her. The humiliation. The years of insults. The betrayal. The lie she lived. The truth she finally embraced. And underneath all of it, a new feeling rising to the surface. Power. It didn't feel like revenge. It didn't feel like cruelty. It didn't feel like pride. It felt like justice. A soft knock came on her door. It was Elias. Are you all right? He asked gently. Amora exhaled. I will be. You did the right thing, he said. Your father would be proud. A small, tired smile formed on her lips. Part of me still can't believe it's real. Elias sat across from her. Your husband thought you were weak. But you were never weak. You were strategic. Amora looked out the window, the Manhattan skyline rising bold and bright under the winter sun. I didn't want to become CEO this way, she said quietly. Life doesn't always give us the path we want, Elias replied, but it gives us the one we're meant to take. Amora nodded slowly. Then her phone buzzed. A message. From a number she didn't recognize. It's Marcus. Please talk to me. I'm begging you. Amora stared at the screen. For years, she had begged for respect. Now he was begging for attention. She locked her phone without replying. Her story wasn't finished. But Marcus's downfall was only beginning. Marcus paced outside Amora's corporate building for nearly an hour, ignoring the freezing Manhattan wind slicing across his face. His hair was messy, his eyes red, his coat thin. He looked nothing like the confident man who had humiliated his wife in front of a full boardroom. He kept checking the lobby doors, hoping she'd walk out. Every minute felt heavier than the last. Finally, the glass doors opened. Amora stepped out, wearing a long black coat, her hair neatly pulled back, her expression calm and unreadable. 2 security guards flanked her. Marcus rushed forward. Amora, please, I need to talk to you. The guards stepped between them instantly. Amora lifted a hand. It's all right, she said. Let him speak. Marcus stumbled closer, his breath shaky. Amora. I'm sorry, he blurted. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know you owned the company. Her eyes didn't soften. That's what you regret, she asked quietly. Not the insults. Not the betrayal. Not dragging your mistress into my office. Not calling me fat in front of the board. Marcus swallowed hard. I didn't mean any of that. Yes, you did, she said calmly. People don't scream what they don't mean. He flinched. Amora stepped forward, her voice low and steady. You hurt me, Marcus. Not once. Not twice. You hurt me for years. You made me feel small. Invisible. Like I was lucky to be chosen by you. Marcus's eyes filled with panic. Amora, please, just give me one more chance. I'll change. I'll be better. I don't want to lose you. Amora tilted her head. You already lost me. He shook his head desperately. No. I can be different. I'll cut Victoria off. I'll respect you. I'll honor you. Just don't leave me. Amora raised an eyebrow. You didn't want me until I became the CEO. Marcus froze. The truth was exposed right there in the cold air. She continued. You wanted to marry Victoria. You wanted the board to replace me with her. You didn't think I was good enough. Marcus's lips trembled. I was wrong. No, she said. You were honest. He stared at her, confused. You showed me who you really are. I just didn't want to see it. Silence fell between them. The kind of silence that ends things. The kind of silence that heals wounds. The kind of silence that frees people. Another guard approached and handed Amora a stack of documents. She held them out to Marcus. This is the divorce agreement, she said. I'm giving you the bare minimum allowed by law. You'll keep your car. Your clothes. A small severance. That's all. Marcus's eyes widened with horror. You're leaving me with nothing. No, she replied calmly. You left yourself with nothing. The day you chose to embarrass me to impress your mistress, you lost everything. Marcus shook with anger and desperation. Amora, please, he whispered. Don't destroy me. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she said the words that ended him. I'm not destroying you, Marcus. I'm removing myself from your destruction. He broke. His knees hit the sidewalk as he grabbed the divorce papers with trembling hands. People walking by stared at the scene, the once arrogant businessman now kneeling in defeat before the woman he underestimated. Security gently guided Amora toward her car. Marcus called out one last time. Amora, I still love you. She looked over her shoulder. Her voice soft as winter snow. That's not love. That's fear of losing someone you took for granted. And then she got into the car. The door closed. Her driver pulled away, leaving Marcus standing alone in the cold. Inside, Amora finally exhaled. Not with sadness, but with peace. She wasn't the quiet, overlooked wife anymore. She wasn't the woman he mocked. She wasn't the woman he controlled. She was the CEO. The owner. The heir. The woman who rose above everything meant to break her. And for the first time in years, Amora smiled. Thank you so much for watching this story until the end. If you've ever been underestimated, insulted, or pushed aside by someone who thought you were weak, then you understand exactly how Amora felt. Before you go, tell me in the comments. Have you ever shocked someone who didn't know your worth? Do you think Marcus deserved forgiveness? What would you have done if someone insulted you in public? And please, don't forget, subscribe to the channel so you never miss another powerful story like this one. See you in the next episode.